Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the night shift. I'm Paulette, and I'm trying to keep my composure about me. They caught me off guard earlier today, y'all. They had me snapping in here and stuff. Welcome to the night shift. I am Paulette, owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, Cityscape Radio, and you guessed it, Brownstone Living Magazine. Y'all, the magazine is taking forever to render. I am so excited. I cannot wait to see it. I act like I haven't. I act like I haven't, but I've already seen it. I'm just being silly. But it looks really, really good. So we have on the cover this month, Mr. Terrence Young. He is an urban jazz guitarist. And y'all, hey, Dr. Burks, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. So we have on the cover of Brownstone Living Magazine, urban jazz guitarist. We're actually going to go see him in Augusta, Georgia. He's going to be here in the state of Georgia on August 18th or something like that. Well, anyway, so he's a part of a reggae tour that is going on. And when I tell you this guy is absolutely amazing, he is absolutely, absolutely amazing. And so we're honored to have him on the cover of Brownstone Living Magazine for our summer issue 2025. Now, let me tell you what's getting ready to happen. You ready to ride? You ready to ride? Dr. Burke said, let's ride. Let me tell you something. I'm so excited because let me tell you the cool thing about having Brownstone Living Magazine is I get an opportunity to meet so many amazing people and kind of hang out with some of those folks as well. So I'm super hype about that. So he's already invited me, and so I'm gonna ride out. And he has played with some of everybody. Ashford and Simpson. He's played with Gladys Knight. He's played for some of the big dogs. And started out playing as a child in a quartet group with his uncles in church. So we had a whole conversation about that. And so if you want to check out Terrence Burks, I said Burks, Dr. Burks, and then I'm thinking about a friend of mine, Michael Burks, who award-winning guitarist. Well, this guy, his name is Terrence Young. Terrence Young is his name. Do not forget that TERENCE. Go ahead and check him out. Let me see if I can pull him up because y'all, this brother is amazing. He's absolutely amazing. And sometimes people just kind of fall in your lap, a lot. And I really, Terrence Young. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Burks. She put it on in there. So let's go ahead and say thank you. So I definitely want you all to hear this guy. So the name of his band, or one of his bands, is called Terrence Young and the Experience. The Terrence Young Experience, right? So this guy, first of all, he's kind of cute. And he's Gen X. Oh, here we go. So that's all I gotta play. That's all I gotta play. We're done. You better. Come on. That's it. That's all you need to hear. All right, let's get back into it, because Terrence Young, go ahead and look him up on Spotify. He's got a couple of albums out. And I can't wait to share the interview with y'all. Hopefully tomorrow, but whenever it renders, it kind of takes its time to get done, and then it has to be sent off for print as well. So we're kind of waiting on that too. Anyway, all right, let's jump into a couple of things that hey, Miriam, how are you? Good to see you. How you been? Welcome in the room. Come on in the room. We are talking tonight for about an hour, because I got a ton of other work to do, and y'all know I'm lying, because I'm going to be on here. I'm going to be on for about an hour and a half, and I'm trying not to. Okay, so number one, we're talking about Gaza tonight. We're going to be talking about Sudan tonight. We're also going to be talking about our 2 senators that we have chosen. For those of you all who have not been, I'm doing well, much better this week. Last week, I couldn't go live because my throat was too sore. And so I said, let me go ahead and thank you for the share. I said, let's go ahead and take a break and just jump back into it. Y'all, when I went live this morning, somebody tried me and I had time. I didn't even do the block is hot. You got to go live, but you wanted to say, okay, well, good to see you. I'm going to have to see if I can peek in on you. I know you're usually live in the morning when I'm working in the studio. Okay, hang on. Okay, so we're talking. I had all my stuff up, y'all. Y'all know how I do. I forget stuff, and where'd it go? Here it is. Okay, we're talking Senator Jon Ossoff tonight, Democrat from Georgia. We're also talking Senator Raphael Warnock, Democrat from Georgia. What are we talking about tonight? We are talking about AIPAC money that they have potentially taken. We don't know, because I haven't shared that information with you all. We're also going to be talking about any super PAC or PAC. Hey, deals with Nia. Come on in the room. Y'all go ahead and start sharing this live if you can. And if you would like to, it's completely up to you. But the more people that we have in the room, the better, because we have an opportunity to share as much of this information as we possibly can. Hey, the best Raku. Hey, Rosemary. Good to see you. For those of you all who are joining me via YouTube, Substack, Facebook, or rather Meta, and LinkedIn, as well as Twitch and Bigo, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are going to go ahead and get started. Number one, let's jump right into news and information that you can use. Where? From brownstoneworldwide.com. Of course, we're going to be going over a couple of things here about the latest and breaking news and updates, and also on daily deals and coupons. We've started our back to school information, and if you want to check out some of those deals, I would encourage you to head over to daily deals and coupons. So let's talk about what happened in Midtown Manhattan today. According to my news sources at brownstoneworldwide.com, of course, tragic incident unfolded in Midtown Manhattan as a man armed with a long shotgun actually unalived 3 people, including an off-duty police officer working in security in an office building located at 345 Park Avenue. Suspect, after apparently barricading himself on the 33rd floor, was found without breath, we're going to put it that way, from what is believed to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Surveillance footage captured the suspect outside the building, armed with a long piece of arms, according to sources. The motive behind the shooting is currently under investigation, as stated by FBI Deputy Dan Bongino. Okay, I hate to hear that. I know that they have officially identified who the person was that did the stabbing of the 11 people in Walmart as well. Now let's talk about Jasmine Crockett trying to shut down Atlantic Reporter for asking lawmakers about her for a friendly profile. Representative Jasmine Crockett of Texas, Democrat from Texas, found herself at the center of a controversy last week when she clashed with a reporter from the Atlantic magazine over a profile piece that was set to be published. The reporter, Elaine Godfrey, detailed in her article that Crockett was upset that she had reached out to several other House lawmakers without informing her first. Now, in a surprising move, Crockett expressed her frustration by calling Godfrey just 4 days before the story was scheduled to actually go live. And during the call, she informed the reporter that she was, quote, shutting down the profile and revoking all permissions. It remains unclear why Crockett was so incensed about the reporter contacting other lawmakers, as this is a standard practice in journalism. And that's one thing that I do absolutely need to tell you guys is in journalism, when you're interviewing that main person, 9 times out of 10, they're going to ask you, or we're going to ask you to speak with other folks as well, so that we have many different pieces of the puzzle to put together. So I was recently interviewed as well over the weekend. And guess what? They asked for 2 other people that they could talk to. I don't talk to nobody. Don't nobody really know me. I'm just off by myself in my own little personal silo. And I was like, well, I don't really have anybody that's known me long enough in this professional field that would speak on my behalf. Now I can give you, access to, either one of my kids, but it's not going to happen. But yeah, that's standard practice. Now, if she went above Ms. Crockett's head and chose people she wanted to talk to, then there becomes an issue, because why did you do that? Why couldn't you just directly just come to me and I give you those resources, as opposed to you probably finding people that really are not on my side anyway? So journalists can be messy too. We can always, spin the story any way that we choose. And that's scary for me to say it, but you absolutely can. So I can absolutely understand why she felt that way. So there's that. Let's see. Bus accident in the Ivory Coast kills at least 16 people, according to officials. Now, this just dropped a couple of hours ago. A tragic accident involving a long distance bus and dump truck in the Ivory Coast has resulted in the loss of at least 16 lives and left over 50 individuals injured, according to the transportation ministry over there. The bus was en route from the southwestern city of San Pedro in the Ivory Coast to neighboring Burkina Faso. And you guys know that we've been talking about Burkina Faso and the president of that country, who's basically told European countries, hands off, back off, we got this. And he's been doing exactly that. And the country is already starting to see a return on the investment back into the country. So the tragic incident actually claimed the lives of 16 individuals, with 51 others sustaining injuries and being transported to a nearby hospital. Now, the ministry has confirmed. It's great news, you think? The ministry confirmed later on Sunday an investigation has been launched by the ministry to determine the circumstances around the accident. Okay, so just kind of wanted to touch up on some pieces of news that I think are super important. And y'all, Spirit Airlines is getting ready to furlough some of their pilots. Let's talk about that. Well, I think it's good news what they're doing in terms of, him telling France and the rest of the European countries to stay out. Hey, Daquan. Hello. Hey, Daquan, how are you? Come on in here, girl. Spirit Airlines has announced plans to furlough 270 pilots. First of all, Spirit, y'all see me put my face in my hands. First of all, Spirit, check this out. Spirit Airlines has announced plans to furlough 270 pilots and demote an additional 140 as the carrier confronts reductions to its flight schedule. Now, Spirit said the furloughs, which are scheduled to begin in the fall, are necessary steps to ensure that they operate as efficiently as possible as part of their efforts to return to profitability. Now, Spirit actually just recently emerged from bankruptcy earlier this year. Honey, I hope not nothing, but let me tell you something. Like, we need more. Right. See, that's why I put my head in my hands, Daquan. Carol Sue. So what's happened is Spirit Airlines is basically saying, we're gonna furlough a couple of pilots. Who gonna fly the planes? Who gonna fly the plane? Let me explain to you all what happened to us. So I most of you guys know that I was in Houston for about 2 weeks. Getting furniture together, putting the apartment together, buying groceries, doing all the things, driving around in Houston. It was my very first time. And Lord have mercy, I needed an affordable flight. And we chose Spirit. See me, I'm trying to hold my eye because my eye is jumping because it was such a bad experience. So on the way back, so going wasn't so bad, and it was a direct flight, right? Direct flight. On the way back, dropped the rental car off and everything, right? And our flight was leaving at 12 noon. I dropped the rental car off at 11:30, had a driver take us to the airport. Flight was supposed to leave at like 12:30, somewhere around there. It was delayed 4 times. We did not leave the airport until 9:45 that night. No apologies, no credits. I didn't get a bag of daggone peanuts. So by the time we did make it, no. And then we sat and we waited on the tarmac for another hour. So by the time we got to Atlanta, what time was it? The train, and if anybody has come through Atlanta, you know what it's like, right? So you know for yourself that the trains to get around the airport, you have to catch them at a certain time or you're going to have to walk. Well, honey, we missed those trains. By the time we got back to Atlanta, we had missed the trains. We had to walk all the way. We had to walk all the way to the entrance. And then I had to call an Uber. I was going to call an Uber anyway, but it was hellacious. And y'all getting ready to do what? You're going to furlough 270 more pilots? Oh, wait until this 270, and then you're gonna demote 140. So if you demote me, what is that weird notification I get when entering here? EXP1, what? I have no idea. Blue Rose, hey, how are you? Hey, J Money, how are you? So I guess what I'm saying is if you don't want to be worried with 270 pilots being furloughed by Spirit, fly Delta. Fly Delta. That's what you need to do. Because, honey, so Boeing, maybe they can fly for another company. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't stay. If you furlough me, I'm out. That's it. Furlough who? If I'm not contracted to you, if you haven't paid me upfront for my salary, I'm out. That's it. Period, point blank. So there's that. Janice, you're correct. That's what I see. I don't see them sticking around long after this. Because the minute that this gets out that they're you can't fly me anywhere knowing that you furloughing pilots. And I remember now what it was, the reason why. This really is they announced that the pilot had not arrived and they were looking for another pilot. When in reality, this might have actually been one of the reasons why. And I was scared. I was like, KJ, are we when we come back, when we head back to Houston, I'm not taking, or I'm gonna drive. Hey Terrell, how are you? Hey Terry Ledbetter, good to see you. Hey John Metcalf, good to see you. So yeah, just wanted to kind of talk about that. Let's talk about this car levy or the tariffs. Oshawa, Canada, the country's once promising motor city, is actually already feeling the deep negative effects from Donald Trump's trade policies, even before the latest U.S. trade tariff threat is set to take effect this week on August 1st. Now, it hasn't gone anywhere, folks. The city's unemployment rate is now upwards of 9%, in the wake of General Motors' decision to pull back production of pickup trucks at a plant there in Canada. Meanwhile, Ford and Stellantis have idle plants in Toronto's suburbs, and GM says its manufacturing adjustments are meant to lessen an expected blow of $4 to $5 billion from those tariffs. Yeah, I don't think we've seen the last of some other companies actually experiencing a go under, if you will. So I just wanted to kind of share some of that with you all. I do know that we definitely want to talk about what's this gentleman's name? Let me go ahead and pull that up. I had everything pulled up. Deion Sanders. Let's talk about this gentleman. Deion Sanders revealed he was treated for bladder cancer and has had his bladder removed. Okay. So his doctor says Sanders has been cured, quote unquote, cured from the disease. So he's opened up about his cancer. Previously dealt with circulatory and blood clot issues, resulting in an amputation of toes in 2021 and leg surgeries in 2023. Now, after extensive speculation, Deion Sanders finally revealed the specifics of his ongoing health issues. The Colorado Buffaloes head coach, who's actually 57 years old, said in a afternoon press conference today that he has been dealing with bladder cancer and had it removed during an off-season surgery, as his doctor says Sanders has, quote unquote, been cured. They were building a plant in Memphis or near Memphis and stopped construction of Ford. That's crazy, Jackie. And we're probably not done seeing a lot of that's going to be happening here in the country. So I'm pleased to report that the results from the surgeries are that he is cured from the cancer, and that's according to his doctor, the director of urological oncology at the University of Colorado's Cancer Center, told members of the media. Now, the doctor spoke alongside Coach Prime and Lauren Askevold at the University of Colorado's football team's assistant athletic trainer at today's press conference at the school's athletics center. So shout out to him. I know he's talking about making sure that he has a will in place for his children and all of the things. So I just definitely wanted to kind of cover all of that as well. Now let's get into the stuff that y'all came here for. Grab your pen, grab your paper. If you are new here, a couple of things that AI Center in Memphis as well. Well, let's talk about that briefly. That is the one that is owned by Elon Musk, or XAI. And there are 36 turbine engines that are actually running those that data center. And the problem is none of the turbine engines have permits. And so they're running illegally at this point. And what's even worse is the community is experiencing health issues such as asthma and other breathing maladies because of these particular turbine engines that are emitting all kinds of noxious gases and fumes. And the problem is, folks, is that this particular community is predominantly African American or Black. And the local town, yes, is suffering. Thank you, Janice, for that information. But what is most disconcerting is their local Chamber of Commerce president and several people, a part of leadership in that town, actually touted and went after XAI to go into that town. No, he does not. He actually, it's Tesla, which he did buy. He purchased Tesla right out. And he not only owns electronic vehicles, but also Tesla and other devices as well, like Starlink, which is the satellite internet service that a lot of you all have on your phones, unless, of course, you turned it off, which I have. And of course, he owns X as well. And then XAI, which is the name of the AI company, which is producing the DeepSeek and deepfake creating AI program that is the data center is in. I think it's regardless, I think it's South Memphis or whatever. But unfortunately, these people are impacted and they are becoming ill because of it, and no one's stopping it. No one's stopping it. And it's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. And so they have applied for the permits, I think for 1 or 2, and they lied and said that they already had them and continued to build. And no one is saying shut it down. Now, I want you all to be aware that data centers are exactly what they sound like. Data centers are where the data, and you don't want them there, and you should not. You should not want them there. So let's dig a little bit deeper. Y'all know, but we gonna go down the rabbit hole because we need to understand what these data centers are and how they are popping up all over specific areas of the country. I know that where we currently are, where I live, there are data centers that are looking to come to this specific area. So a data center is actually just a building and a dedicated space within that facility. And they're usually so big and holding so much data that you need several buildings used to house computer systems and associated components like telecommunications and storage and so forth. But now these data centers are being designed to hold data for warehouses like Target and Amazon and Walmart and other big box retailers that need access to their SKU numbers and sales and these huge databases that they're utilizing to do all of the things that they're able to do and make our lives more efficient, including AI. Now, there are complete AI data centers like the one that is in Tennessee. And I'm not familiar with the types of data centers that I know that are supposed to be coming to the area where I currently live, but I understand that there are several that are headed here. Now, there is supposed to be some type of economic benefit to having these data centers come to your community. However, at what cost does it come with? And we are absolutely seeing that with the data center that is in Memphis, Tennessee, owned by Elon Musk, and it is running the AI computer or supercomputer that is called Grok. And Grok, Grok, is actually I understand it knows how to do deep super fakes of video, imagery, and everything. So Toya's coming out with the EV. I want to buy one, but if Musk hands are on it, you won't buy it. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And there are other EV companies that are out there as long as somebody's driving it. Okay. Now, basically, there are different types of data centers. Let's talk about that. Okay. So that we're clear. There's one for instance, what I was talking about is a smart AI. Right. So in chat, and there you go. So what other types of data centers are there? There are ones that are for your businesses, and then there are ones for AI. And as we continue to store more and more and more information, these data centers have to be built to house all of this information. So when you put in a prompt in AI, or when you are researching specific things from Google or Yahoo or any of the other search engines that are out there, that information is stored somewhere, and it is being pulled and sent directly to you in light speed. So you need to find out what kind of engines are cooling these suckers, because they got to stay cool. Yeah, more and more buildings. And yeah, those are data centers. So there are several that I know that they have built here in North Atlanta. And those were built by Meta. I understand it was a $5 million build. I had some friends that actually wired it. And they indicated to me that some of the people who live in the community are not happy. And I'm sure it wasn't for the reasons that the folks in Tennessee are talking about, where it's becoming a health issue. But we need to understand what the implications of our health are when having these things so close to communities. Because you also have to use water. Because you got to understand, you got to keep these computers cool. You got to keep them cool. You got to use AC, you got to use water, and you got to use these turbine engines to keep these suckers running and keep them cool. Okay. All right. I'm glad we had an opportunity to talk about that. Yep. I knew it. Yep. It's the same thing. It's just like if you were have to have like a small gaming computer, same thing. Water runs through it. I have several friends who were big time gamers, and they had entire computers that had water running through them to keep them cool. Same thing like a car. Okay. All right. Let's jump into, before we start talking about our senators, y'all know that's the meat, right? Let's dig a little bit deeper into what is happening in Sudan and also in Palestine. So we do know that the Handala flotilla was apprehended in international waters. So they were illegally detained by Israeli military this weekend, and it was on Friday. A lot of us were actually able to witness it because it was live on YouTube, and you could actually see the armed guards going onto the ship from their boats that came over to the side. And you already can't drink the water in Iowa. Nitrates, can't swim in lakes either. Oh my God. So y'all just standing around looking at the water going, dang, it sure is hot. And I'm not trying to be funny, but that's really unfortunate. That really, really is. So let's dig a little bit deeper. So now we know that 21 non-violent activists were on their way to Gaza, made it 3 miles from the shore of Gaza, and were literally stopped by Israeli military. Once they came aboard, they pointed those artillery at them, and then they turned off the stream, and I flipped out. Stay out of it. Oh my God. If you live near the Mississippi River, y'all. I've never been. I've seen it when I'm driving, but I wouldn't get in it. So yeah, so here's the thing. So I witnessed it, I saw it, and my heart jumped because I thought, okay, I had to remember this is not a Netflix movie. This is not Hulu. This is happening in real time. And these people are way too calm. And I'm sure that they were shaking in their boots. Now, the story is Chris Smalls, one of the U.S. activists that was there, literally said that there was abuse. Some of the women said that there was abuse as well. The conditions of where they were detained was absolutely abhorrent. The women have already stated that they were not provided with the things that they needed. Of course, ladies, we know exactly what that means. And so they were detained, and all but 2 are still detained. Now, that was the last information that I heard. So Jacob Berber and Chris Smalls and others have already been released. And Jacob should already be back in New Jersey. I know he was flying back into the New Jersey airport this afternoon. It should have arrived at about 3:47 this afternoon. Now, that's according to a live that was aired earlier today on TikTok. So they have officially kicked into their hunger strike, folks. That's where we currently are with this. Okay. And so the deal was that if they could not make it to the shore, that they would immediately go directly into their hunger strike until they began to see change. And so that's where we currently are with that. Now let's move on. And let's talk about what's happening right now. 12 million people, when it comes to Sudan, have been forced out of their homes. We have to have this conversation because a lot of people are not talking about it. Okay. There is another G-side that is currently happening right now. And it is happening not only in Sudan, but several other countries in the continent of Africa. Okay. Hey, Lacey Devereaux, how are you? Hey, Calvin Bankhead. Welcome, welcome. 12 million people have been forced from their homes, about 10 million inside Sudan, 4 million across borders. Famine has been confirmed in multiple areas, and I understand that they are at phase 5, which means that once starvation has begun, it is irreparable damage, not only to the physical body, but to the outlying areas. So they are at a category or phase 5. 8.7 million are in emergency. Hey, how are you, Craig? Good evening. How are you? Aid is barely reaching besieged cities like El Fasher. A UNWFP UNICEF convoy was attacked on June, and they killed 5 staff and burned the trucks. Let's talk about that. RSF raids and shelling continued in Kordofan and Darfur. One recent RSF attack killed at least 32 civilians in southern Kordofan. Come on, throat. Both sides, the Sudanese armed forces and the Rapid Support Forces are accused of ethnic killings, mass sexual violence, and blocking aid, to the point that I cannot even talk about it here the way that I would like to. So I'm just reading my notes. The current war erupted on April 15, 2023, as a power struggle between Sudan's regular army, the SAF, led by General Abdel Fattah el-Burhan, and the RSF, led by General Mohammed Hamdan or Hemedi Dagalo. A key trigger was a dispute over how and when to integrate the RSF into the army during a stalled transition after the 2019 uprising and the 2021 coup. Now, behind that trigger sits a deeper issue: rival patronage networks built on, you guessed it, gold. smuggling, and foreign backers. My voice is repeating itself. It shouldn't be. Hey, Betty Boop, how are you? Good to see you, Larry Wright. Thank you so much for that, though. Hey, Kevin Dempsey, good to see you. So like I was saying, you guessed it, gold. Smuggling and foreign trackers. Thank you, Mr. Goldchill. It may just be, doubling up, repeating on your side, Mr. Wright, depending on, your network could be. The survival of Islamist elites linked to the old Bashir regime, now recouping inside the army's orbit, and decades of center periphery neglect that left Darfur, Kordofan, and the Nuba Mountains marginalized and armed. Now, let's talk about what the civilians are living through. Civilians are trapped by sieges, indiscriminate shelling, drone strikes, and raids on displacement camps like Zamzam and Abu Shuk. Health systems have largely collapsed. Cholera, measles, and malaria outbreaks are spreading. Women and girls face widespread conflict-related sexual violence, especially in the RSF-held areas. And humanitarian workers are being unalived and blocked. The June convoy attack and repeated lootings have shut down vital kitchens, clinics, and worsening famine conditions. Now let's talk about why all of this is occurring and what's really happening. Financing the RSF through gold is what is happening. Before and during the war, the RSF-linked companies, notably El Junaid, exported Sudanese gold, often smuggled from mines in Darfur and elsewhere to Dubai's gold markets, providing the militia a hard currency lifeline. Did y'all hear what I just said? So we have this country where independent investigations have been done showing that tens of billions of dollars of African gold is being smuggled to the UAE every year. Now it's undermining African treasuries and feeding armed groups. Now a UN sanctions panel is probing how mortar rounds exported to the UAE ended up with the RSF. You know how it ended up there. They gave it to them. Amnesty International and others have identified advanced Chinese-made artillery and drones supplied via the UAE to RSF units, violating the UN arms embargo. I need to sit with that for a minute. Thank you so much for the follow, Larry. I need to sit with that just for a little bit. So y'all found a workaround to arm the RSF UAE, because that's what you did, and so that you could sideswipe the embargo violation. We so smart we can invent something better. Hey, Herman Springs, how are you? Hey, Beachy 7. Listen, this is a mess. But you need to know, these are things that we're not talking about. I don't think I could get more. I know, honey. But Carol Sue, you've been hanging in there with us for a long time. You've been hanging in there with us. And these are things that we need to be talking about. We need to be talking about it. I understand that we have this issue in Gaza, but this has been going on so long. And I think what gets me is we're not talking about it as much as we're talking about Gaza, but that stops here. And I said, okay, so if I'm going to talk about Gaza, I need to talk about Sudan. And I need to talk about what other atrocities are happening. Why is this important? Because our money funds the aid that is being destroyed that should be going to these countries. I'm not talking about Pakistan, because we know where our money is going in terms of there. And it's all so ridiculous to me. So our tax dollars and our funds, we're going to get into it in just a moment, y'all bear with me, is going to fuel, as they are asking for more weapons, Netanyahu, And on the other side, we are trying our best to get food and other necessities to these people that are blockaded in the Gaza Strip. You have been forbidden to even go in the water that surrounds the strip. As hot as it is. But we don't want to talk about it. Well, we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. You know what? I'm gonna say this because it's frustrating to me. If I were talking about fried chicken, if I was talking about Beyonce, if I was talking about making a bologna sandwich and dipping it in hot grease right now and then rolling it in butter, it would be hundreds of people in here right now. Hundreds. And I understand that some people can't take this. They can't handle the truth. But somebody needs to keep talking about it. And it's so frustrating for me because I want to share this information with as many people as I possibly can. And people would rather just not. So there's that. Everybody needs to know what's going on. So Dubai has far fewer. We're talking about human beings. Absolutely we are. So why Dubai is looking at Africa? Because Dubai does not have the same resources that Sudan does, that Africa does. Dubai has far fewer hydrocarbon reserves than Abu Dhabi. Around 96% of Dubai's oil is in Abu Dhabi. So it built its economy around trade hubs, folks. Gold. You're most welcome, Carol Sue, because I'm learning a lot too. Logistics and finance. Now, that resource gap incentivizes aggressive commodity sourcing and lacks oversight that attract illicit flows. Come on, Mr. Churchill, Mr. Gold Hill, you better go Gold Chill. Thank you. I called you Churchill. Listen, that's strong. That's strong right there. I like that. Yes, if you were talking about BS, I'd have a room full of folks. I would. I did a video. This is true story. I did a video on, so there's this boycott, supposed to be a boycott of African braiders in the U.S. by Black folks who go get their hair done in braiding shops. Now, I used to braid hair when I was in college, and I worked at an African braid. I was the only American girl that was there. This was in the 90s, so I was in my 20s. And I talked about my experience and how I was treated and how others were treated and what I witnessed by the people that was coming to sit in the chair. And boy, they let me have it. You braiding your hair now, Geisha? Good to see you. And they let me have it. They dogged me out. They dogged me out. And I'm leaving it up there because you can't take away my experience. But as long as I'm talking about drama like that and foolery, I go viral. Let me do the news. When I say this is the Brownstone Center News Update. 300 views. I'm giving you news. I'm giving it to you straight, no chase, and I go about my business. Anyway, so let's continue talking about Dubai. So what we know is Dubai does not have its own resources, so they're smuggling it out of Sudan. And what they have done is they have armed the RSF with the things that are necessary to get the gold out so they can line their streets with gold and remain the country that they are. And we break our necks trying to get over there so we can ball out. I see Tyrese over there all the time, smoking cigars and living large and all of that. And I wonder, is he aware of all of this going on? And would he continue to go if he knew what was happening behind the scenes? Do you think that he's aware? What about other people that go there? Would they continue to travel? That's a good question. So y'all getting rich. Geisha said he doesn't care. You would be right about that. Now, analysts describe what's happening as a strategy of backing non-state actors, which means RSF, which means Libya's military as well, to gain the leverage and access to mines, ports, and political allies across the Sahel and Horn of Africa. doesn't care. So in short, here's what's happening. The Sudan War was a brutal contest for power and resources between the SAF and the RSF, supercharged by, you guessed it, foreign money, especially gold revenues through Dubai and arms flows tied to the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. Civilians are starving, displaced, and targeted. Aid is blocked or attacked. Dubai's role stems from its status as a low-regulation global commodities hub with limited domestic natural resources, making African gold, legal or smuggled, folks, a lucrative feedstock. And from Abu Dhabi, UAE, geostrategic ambitions. How about that? Just thought I could put that in your ear so you would be more aware and informed. I'll be, of course, digging a little bit further into this so that you will know as much as I do. And again, if you want more news and information, there is a segment on brownstoneworldwide.com called The Brownstone. And you'll see, like, I wrote a piece on Malcolm Jamal Warner. I also wrote a piece on, well, somebody else I did a piece on. But whenever I do my commentary, it ends up in the Brownstone. Okay, so you can go ahead and check that out. I'll be sharing a lot of this information because what I'm sharing with you are my notes, okay, from the research that I've done. So I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with you all in regards to what is happening in Sudan and what is currently happening. Now, what we also do know is that Israel has opened the doors or a window of time for aid to get to. Hey, Estella. Hey, Mendigo Tribe. How are you? Thank you so much for the follow. Hey, Gravedigger. How are you? Sarah Stovall. Good to see you. We do know that they have opened up a window of time for aid to get to those who are starving in Pakistan. And so I am saying, let's continue to press those people who are in our Congress and our Senate, even though they are quote unquote out. Yeah, they caused all this mess. But here's the issue. We don't know how long they're going to keep it open. And what people in Egypt are doing is they're putting food in glass bottles like rice and stuff, and they're sealing it and they're throwing it into the ocean, and it's getting to people that way. Yeah, that's how serious this is. Yeah, and I am mortified because every time I think about the people that work at Lockheed Martin, and I'm just going to put this out here. I know someone who works there who said that when they close the boxes up on the missiles, it says on the side Israel, so he knows where it's going. And he didn't know until I told him what was happening. We are packing it right here in the U.S. and shipping it to Israel from Lockheed Martin. Yeah. Yep. Those are the times that we're living in. Correct. He had no idea. I was like, well, what did you think they were doing? Where? I never thought about it. Not until you put it like that. Man, I got some thinking to do now, man, because you pay pretty good. Anyway, there we go. That's all I have to say about that one. All right. Let's talk about HR 1319. We talked about it earlier today. Hey, Sandy, how are you? And let's also talk about some others, but let's definitely talk about HR 1319. It is the Modern Worker Empowerment Act, the Modern Worker Empowerment Act. Now, before we move on, I definitely want, thank you, MK, for that. Let's talk about a new podcast that is coming to Brownstone Worldwide, and it's called The Rivalry Report. Now, it starts August 13th, and it is myself and a beautiful sister by the name of Heather Asanyabi. Heather is also going to be joining Brownstone Worldwide. She is an accredited and well-renowned journalist that follows politics, world news information, and she's been in the game of journalism and writing for well over 20 years, writing for the Milwaukee Journal, the Sentinel, and the Racine Herald in Wisconsin. We are both Wisconsinites, and we went to rival high schools. So we have a mutual business benefit that we kind of work through, and we decided, hey, it'd be kind of great if we kind of talked about what's happening right now, and it's called the Rivalry Report. Of course, I'll be sharing more information about that as it goes along. Press releases started today, and of course, you'll be able to catch it on YouTube. I will share with you the YouTube information when it becomes available. Should be probably within the next day or two, and you can definitely check that out. It's again called the Rivalry Report. Just wanted to kind of put that out there. Now let's talk about HR 1319, Modern Worker Empowerment Act. If you were here this morning, this is basically a repeat of what we talked about on the day shift. Now, what is it? It actually amends the Fair Labor Standards Act, or the FLSA, and the National Labor Relations Act, NLRA, to set a single nationwide test drawn from common law principles to decide if a person is an employee or an independent contractor. Yeah, it's absolutely giving Holocaust vibes. No, absolutely. Now let's talk about this and impact and practice. So the independent contractors are not covered by the Fair Labor Standards Act. And I don't know if we have any independent contractors in here, but you're basically on your own if you are an independent contractor. Okay? Minimum wage and overtime rules and generally aren't protected by the NLRA either. So you can't even organize if you wanted to. So you know that there's this big push to stop unionization in this country. Okay? So if more people meet this contractor test, what will happen is fewer workers will get the guaranteed protection of the FLSA and the NLRA. Make sense? You got it, Sonny. Most people will be declassified as independent contractors, which is the idea behind that. Now, this was introduced February 13, 2025, and advanced out of the House Education and Workforce Committee after a July 23rd markup. So it's advanced and it's getting ready to be voted on and voted into an act, a law. Okay. Now, this bill was actually introduced February 13, 2025 by Representative Kevin Kiley. And that would set a nationwide test, as I said earlier, to decide if you're an employee or a contractor. Basically, it's going to lean on traditional common law ideas. He did, didn't he? He did. But there are a lot of major corporations who are not in favor of unions. And if they can pass this sucker, we're in trouble. Because it's going to impact benefits. It's going to impact how you get your 401k. It's going to, like you said, Sonny, it's going to literally classify some employees as independent contractors. And unfortunately, it won't be anything you can do about it, which means that you'll have to go to the table. I know sometimes as a 1099 or an independent contractor from myself, my contracts are different though, because I have stipulations in my mind after I submit an RFP. So that's a little bit different. But if you're an independent contractor, baby, you on your own. You got to pay your own taxes. You got to do all of that. And right now, with the way that the big, beautiful bill is, you are not in the top 1%. So when they hit you, they're going to hit you with those taxes. So some people say it gives clear, predictable rules after years of shifting federal and state standards, helping freelancers and the companies that hire them know where they stand. No 401k, health insurance, job security, etc. None at all. Because you wouldn't even get the right to work, right? You could just come in one day. Nah, we good, bro. You out. You know what I mean? And so the problem is fewer people literally would count as employees. That's the issue. And again, like you were saying, Sonny, at least no guaranteed minimum wage. Less leverage for employees to get employers to do the right thing. At the end of the day, that's what this is really about. And when I talked about it earlier, I was told I was lying. And I'm literally reading it. I'm not making this up. Who got time? Just crazy. Hey, Angela. Hey, Becca from Cali. So let's talk about another law, HR 1320, the Modern Worker Security Act. Now, what it is it says that if a company gives portable benefits you can take with you between gigs or clients, that alone cannot be used as evidence that you're an employee. I try not to. I try not to. Like, I don't want to. That's how come sometimes I don't say anything. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell y'all I worked out today. I didn't. I didn't. And I should have. So that alone cannot be used as evidence that you're an employee. In short, a safe harbor so firms can offer perks without triggering reclassification. Let's talk about this. An impact in practice. It could encourage platforms and contracting firms to offer limited benefits, health stipends, retirement accounts, insurance pools without risking a, quote, employee finding. Now, critics worry it locks workers into contractor status. You see how that could work against you? Supporters say it preserves flexibility, impact inferences based on the bill's safe harbor language. Now, it sounds like it's supposed to protect you, but it could lock you into contractor status, leaving you in a position to never end up being a full-time employee if that is something that you are wanting to be. You're working on your steps as you speak. Listen, I should start doing the live on my treadmill that I got off a TikTok shop that's leaned up against my bedroom wall right now. Got a bike too. Stepper. It's just my day gets beside me, man. Carol Sue, you know. All right, now let's talk about the Save Local Business Act. That's HR 4366. Now, the first two acts that we talked about, Modern Security Act. Thank you so much for that. I have no idea what that is, but that was so pretty. Fireworks. Oh, yeah, that's so cute. Okay, so we just talked about 1319. What that basically says is now we can classify you as either an employee or an independent contractor. The second one says Modern Worker Security Act says, well, we can kind of give you a little bit of something, you know, since we're going to classify you as an employee, we're going to go ahead and just give you a little something if you want it, right? And you're going to have to pay into it. You probably will have to pay into it. I know as an independent contractor myself for years, I ended up having to pay for my own health insurance. And boy, that sucker ate me up every time I got paid. And I got paid once a month. Oh my God, I don't even know how I survived that because it was like $635 a month. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. And that was before the Affordable Care Act, or some people call Obamacare. I know it's not raining again. I talked about that this morning too. I said it rains every single day in Georgia. It's a rainy night in Georgia. It's literally raining, right? It's ridiculous. It's like every single day it rains. It's ridiculous. All right, now let's go on to HR 4366. Now, this clarifies when two or more companies are considered joint employers under the NLRA and the FLSA, aiming to narrow liability so that, for example, a franchisor isn't automatically responsible for a franchisee's labor relations or violations. It likely makes it harder for workers to hold larger upstream companies liable for wage or labor violations, while giving franchises, contractors, and staffing firms more certainty about when they're on the hook. Wind is a problem. Y'all don't complain about all those beautiful pine trees. We don't have pine trees here. I mean, we do, but it's not a lot. I have a bunch of magnolias in my backyard. A ton of ivy. It's pretty. Buy what you don't want. It's a lot of dry days. I don't know, y'all. It doesn't seem like it's going to be dry here for a while. They said it was supposed to be like this heat wave. That's rain. Do you all hear that on my deck? It's coming down pretty hard. All right. Now, this was introduced on July 14, 2025, taken up in the July 23rd markup. It was hot here. It was hot here, now it's raining. It rains here every single day. I keep telling people I don't live in Georgia, I live in Florida. So let's talk about this one, the Save Local Business Act. So basically what it sounds like this is saying is even if you have a company that is the mother company like the McDonald's Corp, and then you have a franchise up under it, they're not going to allow employees to go after the corporation. They're going to have a separation, quote unquote, of church and state. That's what this sounds like to me. Now let's talk about the last bill, 4312, HR 4312, student compensation and opportunity through rights and endorsements, or the SCORE Act. What it is, it creates federal framework to protect college athletes' right to earn money from their name, image, and likeness. Now, this bill defines key terms like agent and sets rules intended to keep the competition fair. Now, I will be honest with you. They should have. This is something that's already happening, but it's not enforced, right? So, you have some students who are really, really good coming out of high school and so forth, right? The NCAA basically said if you're playing a game or any kind of sport or representing the school, you cannot get any kind of endorsements. But at the same token, that same student is going to class broke, hungry. I saw it personally myself when I was in college at a school that had NCAA students on the basketball team. They couldn't get any money. They couldn't get any endorsements. You couldn't even feed these kids if you were like an agent, a quote unquote agent looking for them for basketball opportunities or football opportunities or whatever. They were just out. And so, you know what I mean? So Mr. Goldchill, you know what I'm talking about, right? And so I would feel so bad for them. So a lot of times, some of us had meal cards and we would help the brothers out and, help them out and get them, what they needed or whatever. And I definitely remember, honey, this was in the 80s. My freshman year in college, just broke. It's just broke. So, they couldn't even get tickets in most cases. So it gives student athletes more consistent nationwide rights instead of a patchwork of state laws. And I actually dig this one because I saw so many students who were literally bringing in millions of dollars to these colleges who would use their likeness, use that jersey number. People would go out of their way to come to all of the games just to see this person play, not knowing that this kid didn't even know where he or she may have been sleeping that night because their dorm fees weren't paid, or they didn't have enough money and they ended up having to do work study and drop out because they didn't have enough money. Fam, you just went through that. My daughter was a part of the Marching 100 and she just graduated. A lot of you guys know that. And she was supposed to get a full ride scholarship. They cut a lot of those kids she ended up losing all but about $4,000 of her scholarship. No, that was what she had left. Let me take that lie back. So she ended up not getting a full ride. A full ride to them was $11 grand for the year, not per semester, for the year. So we had to come up with the rest. And she had work study. And then when she became at the last semester, the last couple of months of her sophomore year, they put all of the juniors out, whether you played for the March of 100 or whatever. And they made them go get their own places. So we had to find her an apartment. It was a mess. I'm so glad that she graduated. I don't know what to do. And it was sad because I was so proud of her being a part of the Marching 100. And I'm still proud that she had the opportunity to do it because y'all know the Marching 100 has a huge name. But the way that they treated those kids, it was just, when it came to the money, it just was not enough money. And again, it's an HBCU. Y'all already know Black colleges don't get the same kind of money that PWIs do. So therein lied the other issue. So she ended up with a great job. She relocated already. We got her settled in and she's doing okay. But those 4 years, those last 2, woo! That's all I'm gonna say. Mama didn't think she was gonna make it. My God, today. All right, now let's jump into the final one. All right, let's talk about our senators. We were talking about Raphael Warnock, and we were talking about, what is that boy's first name? Raphael Warnock, Democrat from Georgia, and Jon Ossoff. Democrat from Georgia. Let's go. Y'all ready? Let's start with Jon Ossoff. Okay. What are we doing tonight? Yes, John. Thank you, Carol Sue, because I was like, what's that baby's name? What's his name? So a couple things. What are we doing tonight? We are talking what we have been doing over the past 2 weeks, and then last week I took off so I could nurse my voice. Is we are going through each one of the senators, congressmen, and congresswomen. So we got a long way to go before the midterms. Okay. In between that, we're also going to be talking about those people who are starting to show a presence and wanting to run and defeat these folks that are currently in office. Why is this important? Because we need to stop just voting for who we remember. We got to get these career politicians out of the way because they are doing some screwy stuff in our faces and we don't know why. So we come here, and every time I go live in the evening, we talk at least about two of the senators. Who are the companies that they took money from? We talk about their PACs, their super PACs, and if they took APAC money. Roy Cooper is coming out of retirement in North Carolina. We ain't even gonna talk about some of the people that said that they're not running for governor again, and that's leaving some holes in Wisconsin and here in Georgia. Hot mess. All right. First elected in January 5th, 2021. Going to run for U.S. Senate. I'll definitely be looking at it. So Jon Ossoff, Democrat from Georgia, first elected January 5th, 2021, defeated Senator David Perdue. First term, and now he's up again in 2026. Okay. What was his campaign message? He was all for the Affordable Care Act. He wanted to fix and expand it. He wanted more COVID relief. He wanted a $15 minimum wage, the clean government pledge, no corporate PAC money. That's what he said. Voting rights and John Lewis Act, climate, clean energy jobs, bipartisan infrastructure. That's what he ran on. Now, let's talk about what his campaign committee actually raised from 2019 through 2024. He raised $171.9 million. He took PAC money of $0.99 million, and that's just 0.6% of what others in the Senate took. So he was the lowest in the Senate. And he said he wasn't going to take any corporate PAC money, and he didn't. Ossoff Leadership PAC, because we all found out together that any one of us here, we can create our own PAC or our own super PAC. We just have to file with either the FEC or not the SEC. The FEC, I forgot what the other one is. But Health Jobs Justice raised $711,000 in the 2022 cycle and supports down ballot Democrats and public health causes. Now, here are his top PAC donors. National Education PAC gave him 50 grand. Those were teacher unions and public school funding. National Treasury employees gave him 38 grand. Federal Workforce Pay Benefits. International Longshore and Warehouse Union gave him $7,500. West Coast Port Labor and Worker Safety. National Peanut Buying Points. Well, we are in Georgia. Georgia Agricultural Processors, peanuts, gave him 10 grand. Now, Ossoff accepted no corporate PACs, only labor, membership, and leadership PACs. He sounds very familiar to Chris Murphy because Senator Chris Murphy didn't take any. He took one PAC, and that was it. Okay? Now, outside money that he took. Here's where it gets a little screwy. Ready? He did take some super PACs. Senate Leadership Fund. We already know what that is. It's a GOP leadership arm aligned with Mitch McConnell. This is the amount of money that was spent against him. Let's talk about that. $92.7 million. So I was wrong. $92.7 million to attack him by Mitch McConnell's super PAC. The Peachtree PAC, people that were pro David Perdue, spent $18.9 million against Jon Ossoff. Americans for Prosperity Action, That's a Koch network. The Koch brothers, you guys know them, $16.7 million. Senator Majority PAC Georgia Honor gave $31.8 million to his campaign, a leadership-focused super PAC. So he kept his word there. And then the votevets.org, $4.3 million. Progressive Veterans, he also took those funds. Now, total outside money, $161.7 million. And there were $136.4 million against him, used against him. Now, when we're talking about PACs and we're talking about super PACs, one of the things that you got to remember is that these are used as advertising, marketing, and for campaigning dollars only. Okay? If they moving money around, I don't know anything about it, but that's what it's supposed to be utilized for. Okay? All right. Now, pro-Israel. Let's talk AIPAC-aligned giving. During the 2020 cycle, $701,912 from donors and PACs in the pro-Israel sector. That's AIPAC, Pro-Israel America, and NORPAC, fourth highest Senate recipient that year. I need you all to keep that in mind when you're talking about Jon Ossoff in Georgia. Direct lobbyist contributions. The 2020 cycle, $360,000. Ossoff was not in the top 20 that year. Largest firm donors, again, we're talking about the lobbyists, Brownstein, Hyatt, Aiken, Gump, and Holland and Knight, each under $50,000, mostly from individual partners. So what did we learn today? He didn't take any super PAC money from major corporations. He took super PAC money from leaders or leaderships. He took super PAC money from memberships and from labor. But where he erred, as far as I am concerned, is he took pro-Israel AIPAC dollars in the amount of $701,912. Why is that important? Because of what is currently happening right now. Because if they want you to make a move, you're going to have to vote in their favor. That's a problem for me. And I live in Georgia. So you got it. Exactly. Exactly, Sani. Yep. Do we see why this is super important? This is why this is important. Because if you don't know, then you don't know, but we need to know. So let's move on to Raphael Warnock. Hey, Kutta, how are you? How was your TikTok event? Girl, I saw you. Okay. Oh, I want all the tea. It looked like it was really, really cool. Really cool. Let's talk about Raphael Warnock, Democrat from Georgia. He was first elected in January 5th of 2021 in a special runoff. I don't know. It was amazing. Was that invite only? Girl, I want all the tea. Listen. While this regime is in power, we need to cut off ties to period. But you know that's not going to happen, Carol Sue, because so many of these people took AIPAC dollars, right? And not just AIPAC. We see that there are more Israeli PACs. Okay? So let's talk about what he ran on. Affordable insulin cap, expanded child tax credit, bipartisan infrastructure, voting rights or the Freedom to Vote Act, debt-free technical college, and climate resilient jobs. Yep, they do need to rethink this. Now, his campaign committee from 2019 to 2024, you got an email? Because your email is a part of your TikTok. Girl, yeah, they know where you at. I'm so excited for you. Hey, Avery, how are you? So he raised $184.3 million. I'm sorry, I didn't even say that right, did I? $184.3 million in PAC money, $2.07 million. And that is for 2019 to 2024. Now, his Warnock Leadership PAC, he created his own PAC. He's a reverend. So Rev Up PAC raised $3.4 million to elect state-level Democrats and STEM education grants. Now, his top candidate side, I am doing well, much better than I was last week. I could barely talk last week. Throat just sore. I'm feeling better today. So his top candidates, National Peanut Buying Points Association gave him 10 grand. Southern Cotton Growers gave him 10 grand. Microsoft Corp, a PAC, gave him 9.1 thousand. And National Nurses United gave him 8.8 thousand. Okay. Now, 2022 outside money landscape looked like this. Now, there was a Senate Leadership Fund, Mitch McConnell's super PAC. It's a Senate arm, spent $54.1 million against Senator Warnock. Vote Vets spent $8.16 million against him. These were progressive veteran issues. National Victory Action, let's see, $5.96 million. Walker Aligned Super PAC, Evangelical and Crime Messages. Georgia Honors, S&P affiliate, $1.03 million. And Make America Great Again, they spent $3.43 million on him. Trump Aligned Super PAC, Immigration and Inflation. They wasn't with it. They didn't want him in there. We see how that went. Total outside money, $110.3 million, $41.6 million for him, and $68.7 million against Senator Warnock. Now, he took AIPAC money too, y'all. During the 2021-2022 cycle, he took $489,437, the second highest Senate recipient, majority channeled through the AIPAC-connected United Democracy Project and Pro-Israel America PAC. In my head right now, I'm not just staring at y'all for impact. I'm thinking in my head now, both of them need to get some letters. If you in Georgia, you need to be asking yourself these questions like, okay, y'all took what? What are we doing? Why did you take those coins? Not good at all. Not good at all. Now, the lobbyists gave him $532,090, third highest in Congress. Largest firm sector givers are Brownstein, Hyatt, Farber, and Schreck, $69,000. Infrastructure grants, tax incentives. Aiken Gump gave him $58,000. Health and Defense Research and Development and National Trier Lawyer Networks gave him $45,000. Medical malpractice reform. Now, what are the major super PACs listed above stand for? So, Senate Leadership Fund is Republican, low taxes, deregulation, conservative judges, heavyweight GOP ad buyer. We know that. Senator Majority PAC, Georgia Honor, Democratic, expand the Affordable Care Act, voting rights need to be protected, funds state-specific honor subsidiaries. VoteVets.org is a nonpartisan veteran progressives group, GI Bill expansion, renewable energy security, and VA funding. Make America Great Again is Trump aligned, immigration crackdown, tariffs, America First trade. National Victory Action Fund, Walker Evangelical and Right, anti-abortion, tough on crime, conservative social agenda. Americans for Prosperity Action, Koch Network, the Koch brothers, free market, anti-union, and limited government. So do you see how we could end up with the HB or HR bills that we just talked about earlier? You see how they correlate? Because they paid to be in the room. I 100% agree with you, Sonny. We really need to do away with them. And I could not agree with you more. And the reason why is because the things that we want to be focused on in this country is not happening. I literally just read to you the PACs and the super PACs, and then it references back to the bills that we just discussed. Anti-union. If they can get these laws passed, and with the amount of money that they just gave these folks, they just passing stuff just right along. Now, it needs to also go into this, though, because we know that the Senate and the Congress is heavy Republican. anything right now that they want to pass, they can get away with it. Doesn't even matter. Now, both senators rely overwhelmingly on small dollar online donors, and PAC dollars are only 1% of their campaign hauls. Outside super PAC money dwarfs direct PAC giving in Georgia. $272 million across the two most recent cycles, driven chiefly by Senate Leadership Fund and Senate Majority PAC, the Georgia Honors. And that is a problem. We need to push for them to go away. We need to talk to the people that do not want to take those funds. Now, we do have some people that I've been kind of following these past couple of weeks who literally are coming to the forefront and they want to run, and they're very forthright about it. But the question is, do they have the monetary resources to run? And if you want to run, you're going to run, but at what cost? These people know that you come here with an agenda and you want to do right by your community, and they know you broke as hell. And that's how they get you. Takes Congress vote, but you're asking them to give up their own funding. Exactly. And they're not going to do it. They ain't going to do it. So this is where our questions need to be asked. When they are showing up in our communities and they are showing up at our rallies and you know, as a matter of fact, it's so funny. An organization that I'm a part of is having a town hall here. And Brownstone Worldwide will be the media company handling the recording and doing the audio and visual for it. And this is happening in the first 2 weeks of September. And I ain't never seen these people a day in my life. But they come into the county that I live in Atlanta, and they want to sit down and break bread with us. You ain't never broke bread with me. I don't know you from a can of paint. But here you come. And these are the questions that we should be asking them and put their tails on the spot right there. So what does that mean? That means that you're going to have to stay diligent on when these campaigns start. They have already started, folks. These people are not playing. Okay? Pay attention to what's happening with Gavin Newsom. He got president written all over him. Doesn't he? This is going to be a landslide if we play our cards right the other way. And the most interesting thing that we need to do on our part is we need to call these people out. If you want to run, then I need to know that you're not supporting Israel this way. That we are not having our tax dollars sent to these countries to fund wars. I would agree, but he's looking real presidential right now. Good for him. Pritzker, I jump all over it. I really like the guy. Yeah, talk is real big right now. But the thing is it's also up to us. When we know that something is coming, even though I know we're tired when we come home from work and we're exhausted and there's so many things that we have to do in our personal lives, the issue is get up and go. Exactly. This was from first grade. What are their values? Track records. Don't lie. And not only that, Mr. Goldchill, where are you getting your money from, boo? Because see, this right here, if they're asking to run again, they're asking us, even though clearly our vote just means you're going to get in office and you're going to do what the PACs and the super PACs do. Do you really have my interest at heart? Hey, Kayshawn. He's really, really good at protecting them. And they're sick of him. Just like a lot of us are in this entire administration. It's even bigger than him. Hey, C. Diane 4, how are you? So we have to ask those questions. So when these people come to our local communities and they come in and hanging out with us in church, and we hearing them on the radio station, and they're marching in the parades that they had marched in the past 3 daggone years, and they over there leaning forward and shaking hands and hugging on folks and taking pictures and so forth, and X, Y, and Z and all the things, right? We need to ask them those questions. Pause, sis, bruh. How much, according to this, I'm showing that you took da 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 da. And this is what they stand for, and this is what you voted for. What did you vote for? How come I'm not seeing any change in my community? And so let's dig even further. Let's talk about your county commissioners. Do you even know who they are in your area? Do you know who your county commissioners are? Real talk. I mean, we have to ask ourselves these questions. Like, at the end of the day, are we paying attention to who is a part of the administration at our local public schools? Who's a superintendent? Do you know? Because now if we really want to get technical, let's dig all in. Period. That's all I'm saying, Carol Sue. Take your notes. You ain't got to take a big book like mine. Be like, so according to what I read about X, Y, and Z, and according to Open Secrets, I understand that you took blah, 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 blah. Can you tell me why? Because I see here that they are anti-union, and everybody in this room are hard hats. And we need some type of guarantee that these people are going to be taken care of. Why would you take $3.1 million on X, Y, and Z? See, this is what we do. We go into these town halls and we're looking to use our emotions and our feelings and have empathy. And they play on that with us, don't they? Oh, we want to do right by you. We want to make sure that everything that they're doing in Congress and Senate when I arrive is going to be for my community. You ain't even drove down my street, Jack. You don't know me. You don't know what these people are dealing with in this community. You don't know that they're closing down this and they're opening that. You folks that are in Memphis and in Tennessee, have your local people even come to see what's going on and help people and help shut some stuff down? Has anybody asked any questions? Has anybody asked any questions when it comes to the amount of prisons that are being built in states like Georgia and Florida and so forth? Are we talking about that, or have we forgotten because things are moving so fast? And Ernst just told I hope we are all going to. Have you seen one of the recent city meetings lately? Have you seen some of the recent? I've been to some of mine here when I'm available. Yes, I do go. Now I can't talk about, but they really cutting up. And the gerrymandering that's going on. Now, most definitely, we need to talk about that and what's happening in Texas and in California, and a couple of other states have decided to do the same, because what the current administration wants to do is to get more seats in the state of Texas, which would help him to remain in control. Y'all don't see the problem with this? I absolutely see the problem with this. When these people show up, make sure, number one, let's do a couple things. One, make sure that you know whether or not you are registered to vote. Also, make sure that you know if you are in the right area to vote, right? Because they're going to be doing some redistricting, y'all. I'm telling you now. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that. Like, they don't want us to talk anymore or nothing. But remember this, y'all. We still the people. Come back. You need to ask better questions. Okay. Thank you for that, Janice. I surely will. I'm sure 47 brought COVID Kimmy her orders, gerrymander. Get him our voter rolls. Yeah, you know. Yeah. So a couple things. What we're talking about here, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to go all the way back to when we first started, because we've just recently gotten started. So don't feel like you need to run and catch up. And I'm going to start sharing this on brownstoneworldwide.com under the Brownstone. Okay. And then you'll just be able to go and pull the 2 for the day or whatever, or whenever. And then when you go over to Brownstone Worldwide, you should go ahead and just type in your email and I'll start sending them. It ain't going to be me. It ain't going to be me, but we'll pretend it's going to be me. Okay. But yeah, so one of our team members or somebody will go ahead and Mahalo might do it and get this over to you guys on a regular basis, because this is serious stuff, y'all. We have to start asking. It ain't gonna be me. But yeah, so I would absolutely say start asking these questions because and you have a right to know. You have a right to know. If we the people, if we still the people, and I'm gonna stand on that. Because somewhere along the line, we stop believing that we have the power. Yes, it's better questions. I get overwhelmed and they lose track of my don't feel bad. Me too. That's why I'm going with notes. So you had said the last time you was in, this is what you ran on. And see, the information about the PACs and the super PACs, y'all, that's public information. That's how I get it. It's public information. Anybody can grab it. They have to those PACs and those super PACs have to register. And anytime those people campaign, we have to find out exactly who these people are. Now, let's end with this. Let's talk about the fact that your homeboy is trying so bad to deflect on what's happening with these Epstein files that he wants to file a lawsuit against Oprah Winfrey, Al Sharpton, Reverend Al Sharpton, and Beyonce. And all I heard was Beyonce. And all I heard when he said that was the sound of bees. Does he even know what he's done? I don't think he knows. I don't know if some of you know what this man has done when he called that girl's name and implicated her in taking money. Did. Yes, he did. Girl, yes, he did, Janice. He has summoned the beehive and he doesn't know it yet. Yeah. So Al Sharpton talked to TMZ about it and he's already garnered his lawyers and said, you want to hear the why on that? Well, let me go ahead and put it up. He said, hold on. My big old book. Somebody's teasing me about my book. Y'all gonna stop. Okay. I can't spell. He's calling for the prosecution of Kamala Harris, Beyonce, Oprah Winfrey, and Al Sharpton. Yeah. President Donald Trump made several false claims related to the 2024 presidential election and suggested his former Democratic opponent and others should face criminal charges. He called for the prosecution of former Vice President Kamala Harris, Beyonce, Oprah Winfrey, and civil rights leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton, accusing Harris of paying the high-profile stars to endorse her 2024 presidential campaign. And in a post on Truth Social, Trump called out the Democratic Party's financial debt post-election. The president falsely claimed that Democrats, quote, admit to illegally paying Beyonce $11 million for an endorsement of Harris. She never sang, not one note, and left the stage to a booing and angry audience. I saw that, and it was far from any of that. As a matter of fact, Kelly did all the talking. She did the best talking. Yeah. And I'm disappointed. Because now you cutting below the belt, baby. And when you mess with Beyonce, you got to, it's all a distraction. But when you mess with Beyonce, all I heard was, does he even realize what he's done? Because once the beehive catch wind of this, you saw that too, Janice, did you? Kelly did all the talking. So what is he talking about? He did. See, Carol Stu said he never paid any of his election bills. See, I'm raising my voice. Bring it down. Bring it down. He never paid. He didn't pay. No. People in certain cities that he visited are still, their police force and all of it are still looking to get paid. While it is true that Beyonce did not sing or perform at the rally as many fans had hoped, considering Beyonce's song Freedom was Harrison's campaign theme song, there is no evidence that she was booed by the audience. I'm the evidence. I saw it. I saw it. Right. We are. Janice said, are we living in the Matrix? What's happening? We gotta be, because I was there. I literally witnessed it. And so many other people watched it. So what is he talking about? She wasn't booed. It was reported in fact check. She did not personally receive 11 million. Correct, GH 522. What is this man for real? Sure. He better, honey, the girls will all come out, baby. And they will be ready for him. He does not want, and when you mess with Bay, when you mess with her, you got to contend with the millions of people that are part of the Beehive. And I thought, he doesn't know. He has no idea. Because, honey, don't mess with the Beehive. That's all. Exactly. You don't mess with the Beehive? What? So the Harris campaign and Beyonce's camp had previously disputed the false claims that she was paid to endorse Harris and support him. Harris. However, records from the Federal Elections Commission show that the campaign did pay Beyonce's production company $165,000. Now, as the campaign spokesperson had previously noted, the payment is legally required for event productions associated with talent like Beyonce. And that is true, because not only did they do that for Beyonce, they also did it for Reverend Al Sharpton and for Oprah Winfrey. If we're going to call out Beyonce, that's just what you have to do to get those people there. And that costs money, because you got to bring her team. You got to make sure that all the things are set up and that things are in position so she's not impacted either. Come on now. He's such a messy boots. And we are, and here's the thing. I'm sure outside of all of that, just make sure that my people taken care of us. Make sure and that becomes a part of those fees that need to be paid. But they didn't take no money. So Al Sharpton has said that he is going to file a lawsuit for libel, for defamation of character, because of this. And he already has his attorneys on it. He was talking about that live with TMZ today. All right, folks, my time is up. I hope that we learned some stuff tonight. See how I'm learning how he's crashing out. That's all he doing. That's all he doing. But I'm going to end with this, and then we're going to get up out of here because I have another busy day tomorrow. One of the things that we have to remember is those files. Well, even if we ever see them, which at this point we won't, it won't mean a hill of beans. So I need us to focus on the midterms. I need us to focus on finding out what companies supported this mess and making sure that we are screaming it from the hills. Continue to do that. Continue to shop local where you can. Yeah. And God knows those names, but and some of us know them too. Because, again, I'm going to say this. If his name wasn't in there and if you weren't embarrassed about what you've done, you would rush to have Pam Bondi and your homeboy Blanche open them books up. Go ahead and let them see it. I'm not in there. Go ahead and open it up. Let them see for themselves. And you would go about your business and carry on. You've told us everything we need to know. And the victims need the validation and the support. Exactly, Carol Sue. And so, unfortunately, the victims will not see justice. But I'll say this again. And y'all know what I'm getting ready to say. Right's right because it is right. And what we also know is that in the scheme of everything, unfortunately for him, everybody has a due date. So you got to be careful what you do and how you do things. Because if you think that you are going to continue to go through life because you got a pocket full of dollars and you're walking around here with power, you think that you're not going to end up in a box like the rest of us? You won't. And if nothing else, of course she's going to walk. Absolutely. They talked about that today on the news where she's already asking for a pardon. We're talking about Ghislaine Maxwell before we wrap up. Elaine's gonna walk. Now they're calling her innocent. What? Didn't some people report that she participated in some of this? Like physically participated? Groomed the girl? How you innocent? You know what you were doing too. Not one time did you protect those babies. And then and now I'm sitting back and I'm looking at all of the things. Cause see this, yep, she will out on the streets by the end of the month. Honey, by the end of this month, which means this week, she'll be out. And she'll slowly disappear and we'll never see her again. And she'll be somewhere sipping Mai Tais somewhere on an island with the money she put away. Recruiting, correct. It's not. Recruiting and participating isn't innocent. No, not at all. Not at all. Yep. You already know she going home. Like I said, she going somewhere and sit on an island somewhere. She knew. And the thing is that if she has her way, which she will, to shut him up and to shut the world up, because we're never going to see him. And even if we do, he'll never be prosecuted. He never will. But baby, when I tell you, I have watched people that have done me wrong, and I'm just going from a personal perspective. I have watched people that have done me wrong. I was told this one time, and we've all heard old folks say this: just sit still. I said that here. Just sit still. And the money she know where all the money is. She knows. Of course she knows. She gonna live well when this is over with in the next couple of days for her, and they're gonna slowly start talking about other things. The Simpsons prophecy. Y'all remember that? We ain't gonna have to pray for it. We don't have to pray for that. She's gonna be just fine. She's gonna be just fine. What we need to be focused on is getting him and everybody else up out of there with the quickness. And like I said before, I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. I'm following the money. I don't care if I like you. I'm following the money. I don't care if you come to my church and break bread with me. I'm following the money. I don't care if you marched in my parade. I'm following the money. Because the money tells me where your loyalty lies. Because the average American people, we're not sitting on chrome like that. So I'm going to keep following the money. That's why I had this set up the way that I did, so we could find out who these PACs and these super PACs are. Follow the money. Get out your feelings this cycle. And if you keep going in there and re-voting for the same people, you're going to keep getting the same result. And guess what that's a sign of? Insanity. And they hoping we crazy. I'm just telling you. Follow the money. And start telling people in your community when we're having these conversations and we're sipping lattes and we're going to the library and we're working out at the gym and we're talking about these things. I don't care about nothing else. Where the midterms at? Where the midterms at? Where them votes at? Since we talking about fans, where them votes at? Dead serious. I'll clock a fan for that one. Dead serious. I need to make a whole song about it. Using that cadence. Let's dance about that. Follow the money. Mr. Warnoff, Mr. Ossoff, why did you take AIPAC money? Do you see what's happening overseas right now? I got questions. Questions need answers. Explain to me why you took that money. Why did you take money from this particular organization that is for no unions? And everybody in this county works up the street at that mill. Okay, no problem. I just had some questions. Oh, and by the way, did you by chance also take money from the GOP super PAC, Mitch McConnell. But I thought you were running as a, and I understand that this super PAC with Mitch McConnell is anti this, and this, and wanted to make changes to this, and they were also pro big beautiful bill. But you took money from them. Aren't you a Democrat? Why would you take money from that organization? I need clarity. Oh, you can't answer that? Well, maybe the opponent that's running against you can help to answer that. Sir, since this is a debate, would you happen to have answers for that? Yeah. They may ask me to leave. But that's how we need to be. Hey, Wanda K. Cook Hero, how are you? Well, you sound like you can cook, girl. All of a sudden, I saw visions of cornbread and collard greens and fried fish. Iowa State Fair is coming up soon. Lots of, you already, I knew it. I knew it in my spirit. I knew it just from the name. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who, me? Let me hear that one more time. I just might do it. I'm so serious. I'm so sick of this. I'm so, and it'll be, well, I had to run. This is the only way that I could get the money. Okay. You should, so she said, you should, I'll look into it. Because I keep hearing that. I just believe that we should hold people accountable. That's all. I don't think that that's too much to ask. And I think maybe my place should stay over here in media and talk more and more and more with and for. You would have it should be definitely considered. It should be considered. But y'all, I gotta go. It is 11 o'clock. And I gotta be back up because I got a ton more work to do. Also, you guys, here's what's happening in the Brownstone. Here's a real couple things. Number one, before we wrap. brownstoneworldwide.com, the email capture is back up. I took it down and I was like, let me go ahead and put it back up. So I was instructed you need to put it back up so you can start capturing all of these, because we don't know what's going to happen to TikTok. We don't know. And I'm sitting on a whole platform. So go over there and register to be a part of emails that come out. Those come out in the morning. My little team is going to send you an email in the morning. It's called the Brownstone Brief, and it's sent to you in the morning along with what's happening in the Brownstone, who we're talking about, what's going on, and what the topics are for the day. It even gives you a link directly to daily deals and coupons. And tomorrow, if all goes well, because I haven't checked with the team on the render of the magazine, you all will have access to the magazine as well before anybody else, because you'll get the email before anybody else. So definitely, I'm glad that you're here, Janice. You should come back and join us for sure. brownstoneworldwide.com. You all are officially, if you are new here, you are officially one of the people in the neighborhood. We do have a membership program that actually starts in August, and it is called the People in the Neighborhood. You are neighbors, but we have the People in the Neighborhood, where we have a side membership portal for those folks who want to be a part of that. It gives you access to things that you don't normally get on TikTok or Meta or even on YouTube, but it's a place where we come and commune and talk about things and also share further detail on things that, because of this particular platform or that particular platform, I can't say here or we can't say here. And so we talk live here, but we have to be careful in some of the verbiage that we use. You'll also have access to the rivalry report with myself and with Heather Asanyabi. There's an article that comes out on her tomorrow. So you should definitely look forward to that. And what else? What else is happening? Oh, either way, that's the cool stuff for being one of the people in the neighborhood. But one of the other things is we have two other programs, and one is for podcasters. It's called the Podcast University, since we do have Cityscape Radio, and we also have something for radio station owners, and that's a little bit, past probably what anyone here would be, interested in, but we actually do news and information for small radio stations, mom and pops. So there's that. Again, y'all already know tomorrow I'll be giving more news and information that you can use, as well as news throughout the day and breaking information. If you feel so inclined, go ahead and follow us also on Substack, and be sure to, again, follow us at brownstoneworldwide.com and just register for the email. That's what I'll tell you to do. Remember, 3 things that we always like to tell everybody before we end every single broadcast. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life, because you only get one you. You might as well enjoy it. And lastly, what do we need to do, folks? Y'all already know. Breathe through every single moment. Go out there and enjoy the rest of your evening. If you don't do anything else, take care of yourself the best way that you know how. And UNM Rio, thank you so much for joining us. Hint Vision, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get up out of here. We'll see you tomorrow morning for the day shift. We'll see you around.
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.